Hey Amy, how are you?
I'm great. How are you? I
I'm
know you went to see
good.
the Bond movie yesterday. I can't wait to talk about that and
Hmm.
hear about how hunky Daniel Craig is. Oh, you know how I feel about that. Anyway, but today's topic is about traveling with not just children that have special needs. The real headbanger types, the ones that eat things that they shouldn't eat, or they're not
Mm.
eating properly, or there might not be the most appetizing people to be around always, but me having one myself, a 32-year-old who, has been profoundly handicapped her whole life, but traveling is a whole different story. And obviously traveling with children is hard enough in its own, but I want to hear about people's experiences because I've had mega ones.
So what's your funniest
My
experience
my
to
funniest
travel?
experience. Okay, so one year we were living in Montreal. I grew up in Nantucket in the summertime. So we had family that's on Nantucket still. And we would fly from from Canada into Boston, and then take like what I call a puddle jumper into Nantucket, right? So we have Caitlin, we have two, like a 6 month old and a 1.5 year old as well. So we get on the plane, we get there pretty early because, of course, I have to board you early because you're the ones with the, special needs and stuff.
Special needs, yeah.
Yeah, we get on the plane, and literally we got stuck on the tarmac for like an hour and a half.
Mhm.
We had not only little kids, but Caitlin has a certain bowel regime or time, so we're sitting, it's like boiling hot. They had to do something with the little puddle jumper, and not the puddle jumper, leaving Montreal to come to Boston. We're in there, they're like, oh, we're sorry, we have to do something to the plane, whatever. So we're there for an hour and a half, an hour and a half. Within 5 minutes, Caitlin shits herself.
No, no.
Shits like, oh my God, I'm not talking about just a fart, a silent cheap sneak that, comes up and haunts you and you feel like you're gonna freaking, the hot ones. When hot ones escape your butt, oh God, clear the room, because those mofos are coming at you. So with all of her medicine, her dietary stuff, the smell is outrageous.
Oh no.
No air conditioning on, obviously, in the
Oh
plane,
no.
because it's not on because there's some sort of malfunction. So everybody in the plane, my ex-husband is kind of sitting next to Caitlin, and I have the two babies with me, the two young kids on either side of me, taking care of them. Everybody on the plane starts going like, oh my God, what is that? People are going like, ugh, ugh. And people are saying like, we need air, we need air, we need to turn the air on. Obviously there's septic backing up into the flight or something. And I was like, I'm just sitting there like going, oh my God, it ain't no septic. It's my 12-and-a-half-year-old that just blew the entire plane off. I mean, she had shit by the time we got just to Boston. That wasn't even our final destination.
Oh my God.
My ex had to pick her up from the thing. We had already realized during the flight that the shit was coming into her sneakers, into her AFOs. It was her whole entire, her
So
shirt,
bad.
her pants. Oh God, it was
Poor thing. Poor
everywhere.
little princess.
Oh my, I know. It was the most unbelievable experience ever. And then so we had a wrapper and all these blankets that we expected to use, on the trip, and different things that we had, and things I had for the kids, the baby ones,
For the
and
babies.
Caitlin. We had to wrap her like she was the aunt on vacation that was dead, and they put her up on top of the roof of the house of the car. We had to wrap her like that. We had to put her in her like wheelchair. The shit was saturating everything. When he picked her up, all different piles of goddamn crap went all over the plane, all over the seats, dripping down everywhere. And we're supposed to get off first. We're the lucky mothers that get off first because we have a Riri with us. Ah! It was like, so that of course my ex had no patience, no, like, couldn't handle anything. So he's swearing and yelling, and I'm trying to take her into a family restroom, and there's no spot to like clean her up, or we just had to throw all her clothes away. So we literally, when we put her on the airplane to go to Nantucket, she was naked. We had her just wrapped in a blanket because we had no time to get her like properly cleaned up. We'd already sent our luggage forward. So we had her all wrapped up. She stunk. It was the funniest thing ever in the world. It ended up being pretty damn funny. But I want to hear other people's experiences because I know there's ton. You know what I mean?
And anybody made comments to you, or they felt bad? Like,
people were just like, it was just, I don't know if because she was so cute and still super young, and she, had like Caitlin has a very nice appearance. She's not like, snaggletooth ugly, and, you're like, ooh, she's dirty and she stinks, and, she shits herself and she pisses herself and all that gross stuff. But she's not like that. So I don't think anybody really knew that it was her. Okay. We all knew it was, and we're freaking out. But then when we had to go off first, well, everybody goddamn knew, because there were puddles of shit, not only on the actual seat. There was puddles because we had to carry her out the whole plane to go get to the wheelchair, which is like curb, I don't know what they call it, gate checked or something. So we're carrying her and shit is plopping out everywhere as we're carrying her. So it was just like, oh God. I bet they barred us from that airline ever again.
You must have been dying.
Experiences. It was unbelievable. It was I found it to just be hysterical. Of course, he was like, well, that's why we're divorced. Hey, we were getting away to the sunshine with our lovely kids. How lucky were we? You know what I mean?
No, yeah, of course. And it happens. Shit happens.
Shit happens, man. It ain't just spit, it's shit. And ticks. I mean, another time we took her to Florida. I think she was like 20 maybe. And we decided, you know what? Woo! Fuck. You can stop it for 2 seconds, I guess. We'll just. So I said, you know what? My divorce was awful. We're going to take the kids to Florida, all my kids, Caitlin included. We're just going to do it. We're going to have a wonderful, like, Disney World, Epcot, Universal, all that shit. So we go, and for some reason we couldn't get like a direct flight. I think we had to stop. There was something like we didn't all get on because there was like 9 of us going. So anyway, Caitlin, we're on the plane. We're obviously sitting in the front row seat because that's where the handicapped people are. We're there. She can sense that the energy is so bad. Like the 2 flight attendants that we had coming back from Florida were like 20 times. No, the ones coming on the way to Florida and from Montreal were wonderful. They were like accepting and helpful and stuff like that. The ones on the next flight, she starts picking up in the energy that, oh my God, this is awkward. I'm not in the right space. The 2 flight attendants, this like really flamboyant guy, and then this woman, it was like, get out of any industry that you're having to be good to people, because they were horrible. And he started picking up in the energy, and she's like head banging and rocking so hard and screaming.
That's going from Florida to Boston, or Boston to Florida?
That was from, oh yeah, because I was saying Montreal, I think. That was a different flight. But the Boston to Florida, and I think we had a layover in like Atlanta or something. So Boston was fine, but the layover, from Florida, from like Atlanta or wherever we were to Florida, that was like the absolute most horrendous experience.
Get out of it, change jobs, for God's
I know,
sake.
exactly. I was just like, I honestly almost lost my marbles on the flight attendants because they handled it so poorly. And so the more amped up she gets, she's screaming, she's trying to eat her outfit, she's head banging, she's yelling out like, he's like, and everyone. So one guy sitting next to my daughter, Tamsin, who's now like 15, and he's putting his hand over his eyes, and he's, oh, stop, like screaming that he couldn't be on the plane because the screaming was so awful.
Oh.
And then the flight attendants were like freaking out. They're literally like right in front of us, and they're just like turning around saying all this stuff. And I was just like, they don't get it. They didn't
No
get
support.
that. Like, if she could stop doing that, of course I'd stop her. But they didn't handle it well at all. But eventually I just went up to them and I said, because people on the plane were freaking out, screaming, shut up, you know, doing the whole, like they're going to freak out. Some people are very noise sensitive, and I get that. But you know what? Bye me. My daughter deserves to go on a vacation.
Of course.
We can't afford a private jet. So, hey, we got to get her there some way. But I do think it was the conduct of the actual, the stewards and the stewardess on, or the flight attendants, that's what they call them. No, but anyway, they handled it really poorly. So finally I was getting so incensed because everybody was just having a meltdown. And my own kids, my typical developing kids, are like, oh my God, you know, oh, what do we do? And I was just like, hey, she can't help it. So get over yourself and just, you know, turn to people and say, hey, you know what? She's got special needs. Just hope you're not like that someday. Because any of us could be. We could go out tomorrow and have an accident, or one of our kids or whatever. So, you know, shame on you for not being understanding. You could have brought earplugs, because we couldn't turn her off, right? If I had the off button or the mute button, I certainly would have. So finally I went up to the air, especially the woman, and I just said, are you not realizing that that she doesn't understand she's doing this? Like, she doesn't get it. She's not like doing it to piss people off.
She's not doing it on purpose.
That's it.
Control.
Exactly. But what she is doing is she's picking up on your motherfucking negative energy. I'll tell you that, bitch.
Did you tell her?
I did. And then I just kind of, and I said it like really kind of quietly, like I was going to make a scene. I wanted to go up and grab that, like, ladies and gentlemen, the freaking air people are assholes and they are not good at their job, and everybody be nice to my daughter. Like, I wanted to start causing some sort of ruckus, because I was just getting like, you know, this is supposed to be a nice vacation. It's a once in a lifetime thing for us.
Yeah.
Transferring Caitlin places is not easy on a good day. So it was like, it started out a little bit rough, but then it's, you know, it's funny after all. That's why I want to hear from other people. Because any of you have like, shit, do we have a good trip? Absolutely. We had so much fun. She was like, loved the fresh air. We actually were able to take her in the pool, which typically she doesn't go for that, right? It would be too cold.
Yeah.
But I think the air was so warm and she really relaxed. I think she had a really nice time.
Oh, that's so nice. So your kids, I think your kids are mature that way, because they had to go through that. Your other kids.
Oh, absolutely. And some I think are more like embarrassed and kind of get like, oh my God, shut her up. But then my three, like Tams and Connor Keegan, they're all like, she can't help it, you know, like the poor thing. And they don't get all weirded out like that because they understand it. But peer pressure is a bitch. You know what I mean? Because then when you're in that position and people are obviously just like, really, people were losing their marbles because of the noise, right? And I have to remember that I've lived with that noise at that point for 22 years, plus had 4 other children. So like, I'm not as hypersensitive to it. So I get it. It's not nice for someone, but God damn it, there's earplugs everywhere.
There's earplugs
on
she
the
can't help it.
Exactly. Get some freaking earbuds. If you know what, if I didn't have the earplugs, I would have taken a freaking piece of bread and stuck it in my ear, or gotten toilet paper or a napkin. I mean, you know, you can improvise, right?
Yeah, of course.
but I'm sure it stops people from doing things like that, because you're already isolated enough when you have a disabled child. And so, you know, it doesn't make you feel very and happy to go take those ventures out. Like a few times I've gone into restaurants that I go to all the time, that, you know, we frequented, the waitresses knew me, blah, 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 and then gone in with Caitlin and met a friend, and people be like, we need to be moved. We can't handle that, or the noise or something that she was doing. And that's like, whoa, that's just, I personally like to keep the peace. So I just say whatever. But a friend that I was with was like, are you kidding me? You can't give enough grace to like understand that she's got special needs. Like, are you kidding me? And so, you know, you can get on your war path about that too. But it's
Yeah,
once
no,
again,
no
what
kidding. I
battles
mean,
do
it's
you want to
crazy
choose?
though.
Right? I mean, you want to keep your positive energy because we're going away. We're going to have a great trip. We were there for like almost 2 weeks. So it was so worth it. But I feel like
And
it
it's
could have been a little
amazing.
bit nice.
It's amazing that you went, and it's also important for your other kids, right? So you're not that you stop
Absolutely.
yourself for doing everything, then it sucks, like really. So you really wanted to show everybody, and I think people could use a little bit of compassion. I mean, really, Atlanta to Florida, how long is that flight? 2
It was
hours,
only like,
3
I think,
hours?
I don't even think it was over. It might have been an hour 15 or hour something. And it was quicker because we got on it and the plane was ready to up and roll right away. But it shows you how, you know, there are people that have limited amount of sensory integration that they can handle without making them like want to go crazy. And I understand that, but it's like, you know what? Plug your ears, like get a grip, because who knows when your time could be coming, or you're caring for a parent, because man, that's the cycle of life, right? We're all gonna start as babies, end as babies, or hopefully not. I don't want to end as a baby, but who knows? I'm already a baby.
No,
But
you just
yeah, you want to
and the
make your
fact
house
that
as happy as you can, right? And you don't want your house, just because you have a disability in your home, you don't want your home to be disabled.
no,
Right?
you're absolutely right. It's
Well, gals, girls, pals, anybody out there that has a special needs child or an atypical child, you know, ring in and talk to us, reach out to us on sasswithclass50@gmail.com. Listen to our YouTube channel that will be coming on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. We've decided to do a once a week podcast. We're interested in anybody's feedback, anybody's ideas, anybody that would like to talk about something or could maybe use our wisdom to help them with dealing with a special needs child or a difficult divorce or a difficult marriage or whatever. We're here. We've got lots of advice and
give
lots
us
of
ideas for sure. We have tons, but
absolutely.
we can always act.
And we can give you ideas. We can help.
That's right.
We're
Kiss,
here to help.
kiss.
Kiss, ooh, kiss, 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 kiss. Okay. Ciao for now.